Well, welcome. We would like to welcome you to the Skipped Respite training today. This training is presented by Spectrum Autism Support Group. We are a group that's located in Gwinnett County, Georgia, and we serve families in this local area as well as 6 or 7 surrounding counties. Today, you're participating in this training probably because you are here to volunteer for a respite activity. There may be a respite activity going on at your church or at a local community club in your town. And so the purpose of the training today is to give you some information about what to expect, what kind of children you'll be working with, the characteristics and behaviors you might see, and really just in a way to kind of give you a crash course, as we like to say, of learning a little bit about autism spectrum disorders and what your role will be as a volunteer today in the activity that you're helping with. So let's go ahead and get started. I'd like to tell you a little bit about autism. You may have a family member, you may have a neighbor, someone that you know very well, or definitely that you may have heard in the news, read articles about autism. But people with autism have persistent difficulties across 3 main areas, and those areas are their social skills, their behavioral skills, and their communication skills. It is the fastest growing neurological developmental disorder, and we have seen that. You can tell with the news and the attention and research that autism is getting more recently. It does occur in all racial, ethnic, and socioeconomic groups. Abilities can range from very gifted learners to severely challenged. And we'll talk a little bit more about that today of how you will see this wide range of functioning levels. It does affect 1 out of 68 children. That's the more recent statistic right now. And boys are 5 times more likely to have autism than girls. So what is the purpose of this activity? So the activity that you are volunteering for, it is a respite for parents, and respite simply means a break. And it's important to know the situation a lot of these families are in day to day. Their lives can be very stressful. At times, having a child with special needs, they may also have other children, siblings, and balancing that schedule. Also, it's important for you to realize that there are not many activities that they may feel comfortable taking their child to. They may have tried to participate in community activities, leisure activities, recreational activities, and they may have just not had a great experience with their child due to their child's needs. And so this activity is a respite for these parents. We want the kids to have fun. That's a main goal of this activity. We want to provide kids with the opportunity to meet new friends. And a lot of times in children's lives or in teenagers that may be attending this activity, they do not have close friendships. And so this is a great opportunity to develop those friendships. And having a respite activity really builds community and support among families. We hope today that families are able to meet and talk and be encouraged and share their stories to know that they're not alone and that they've really found a community among other families of children with autism. So what should I expect? I'm sure many of you are asking this question and you're curious, and we do very much appreciate the time that you're giving and the interest that you have in serving individuals with autism. So we'd like to tell you a little bit about what you can expect in this activity. Autism does cover a very broad spectrum, like we mentioned in the characteristics. Today in the activity, you will see that you may meet a child who is very talkative, but actually does not have very good conversational skills. They may talk a lot about a very specific interest that they have, and you may notice that. And you may also meet a child in a group that is nonverbal, that does not communicate through verbal language. This child might take your hand and lead you around to the different activities. He may take your hand to to reach for a snack or point to something that he wants. You may notice that a child uses a picture to communicate. He may take a picture off of his schedule and bring it to you to show you what he is wanting, or the activity that he wants to come next. You may meet children that do know sign language, and that is a way that they communicate. You will also see some behaviors during the activity, inappropriate behaviors that also serve as communication. And that shows you a very broad range of what individuals with autism can look like. The age levels today will vary. You will meet children who are young, usually age 4 up to young adult, may cover respite activity. So we divide the groups by age, and we like to have the teenagers together. We like to have the middle school age together, and then the lower and upper elementary groups together, depending on how many kids come today. And so you'll notice that we break the groups down in that way. The level of functioning, like we talked about, you will notice some individuals really need a lot of help to complete the art activity. You may have to help them glue. You may have to help them cut. And then other individuals are very independent. They can do everything on their own. And you'll notice a variety of interests and gifts during your time volunteering. And this is a wonderful part of the autism community, that you will really take away some great memories from this. You will meet kids that are just have a great knowledge of a specific interest, and you will really enjoy talking with them about it and finding out what they know. You're going to meet children that can just do really amazing gifts and talents. And you'll see that variety today in the groups that you work with. Also, you're going to notice we have a schedule of activities. In the respite activity, it's nice to be able to rotate to different activities throughout your time. You may only want to spend 15 or 20 minutes doing a certain activity. A lot of times it's good to include an exercise or motor station. You might have a balloon, parachute balloons, or scooters that the kids can ride on if that's offered at your facility. You may want to have an art room, an art station, where the kids get to paint, play with Play-Doh, use bubbles. A lot of our kids will really enjoy this. You want to incorporate snack or a meal time. This is a great thing to use in your schedule, and encourages children to be independent and use those conversational skills while they eat. Board games. This is a great way to build friendships and teamwork, work on some of those skills that our kids need. Legos, small cars, puzzles, those are always popular items among our kids. The playground, if you have access to a playground, is a wonderful activity to put into your schedule. A music room or a music time with instruments is something that our children would enjoy. And also even a drama activity. Individuals with autism really enjoy, but they also benefit from drama and the skills that you use in drama. You can use role playing and you can use puppets, and the kids enjoy it, but they also get to practice those important social skills that may be weak. You'll notice that it's beneficial to divide the kids into small groups. So depending on the ages and the amount of kids that attend the respite activity, let's divide them into smaller groups and spread out the adult support among these groups. A group with higher functioning individuals may only need 2 adults to every 8 to 10 kids, but a group of children that are very dependent on adult support, they may be working through some behaviors, they may be nonverbal, they may not be independent yet with toileting needs or washing their hands or eating. With those groups, it's best to keep it at about 4 to 6 kids with 3 adults. That's a good ratio. It allows 1 adult to every 2 kids in those smaller groups. You may even have some children or individuals who come that you're going to just pair an adult with that child, and you can be their buddy for the activity. So I would encourage you to divide the groups into functioning levels and then spread out your adult support with the groups that require more support, and then take a look and see which groups may be more independent with the activities. And here's an example of a visual schedule that you may see incorporated into our activities. If you have a director that is heading up this respite activity, he or she will provide your groups with schedules and visuals. This helps the kids know what to expect, and they know what's coming next. Okay, we expect you to interact and have fun with the kids. We want this to be a really fun time for you today. We encourage you to pair up with a group, or like we just mentioned, pair up with one individual to be their buddy for the entire activity. We do expect you to stay with that group for the entire time. So it's important that if you've been stationed somewhere, the director or the program coordinator needs to know that you're staying there and you're running that activity, or you're with this group. And also that is going to be a more enjoyable experience for you. You'll get to know the kids in that group, and by the time the activity's finished, you really will have built some relationships with those children. Here's, this visual, this image on this slide gives us some just fun questions to ask. We want you to interact with the kids, ask them questions, quickly find out what their interests are. And many of the kids will come in who have high functioning autism or Asperger's syndrome, and you will quickly know what they're interested in, what they want to talk about. And this will really give you a great first connection with the kids that they will immediately enjoy being with you, and will know that and find comfort that you're with their group for the rest of the time. And then we want you to just assist the children with participating in the activities. That means that you're following what the program coordinator has organized and put together. We also like to add flexibility into that schedule. So we say you may rotate through the activities, but you know what? We also are flexible, and if there's a group of boys really enjoying Legos and you're volunteering with them and you're working with them, it is okay to miss that next activity rotation and just enjoy participating in that activity with those kids. And so if we do find something that kids like, it's okay with us if they want to hang out there and do bubbles for the rest of the activity. So we really want to let you know there is flexibility there for you to get in there and have fun with the kids. And we want them to enjoy this time. So just some things to keep in mind. We do expect you to follow safety guidelines. There aren't many, but we do like to point them out to you. We tell our staff and volunteers to not be alone with a child. This is for your protection. Most importantly, because you simply may need help. If there's a child that's having a difficult time or having a meltdown, we may not know if you've been left alone in a classroom with a child and you really need other adult help. So keep in mind as you walk around the building, as you're in and out of classrooms or outside, to not be alone with a child, to always stay with a group or near a group. We like for you to also have 2 adults when taking the kids to the bathroom. Again, in working with children with autism, this helps you out a great deal, because at times you may experience behaviors or meltdowns around the bathroom area or in the bathroom area, and you will need help. This is also just for accountability and liability. And so we follow this guideline to have 2 adults taking kids to the bathroom at all times. We want you to report any accidents or concerns to the program director, the program coordinator. So if you notice someone falls down or bumps their knee or bumps their head, we just report those to the coordinator so that they can pass that along to the parent. We follow the program director or program coordinator's instructions for the respite activity. So we don't expect you to lead any activity. We want you to enjoy being that support staff and volunteer staff and help support those activities that are in place. And just be aware of allergies or any medical concerns. The program coordinator, director will let you guys know. They have this information. And so that just means when you pull out snacks or probably let's just use the snacks that we have already at the activity, or if this child brought his own snack, it just reminds us to be aware that we don't want kids to share snacks, or we don't want you to share your own snack. And that's really just simply due to certain kids have allergies, and we don't want to interfere with that. So it's just good to be aware of those things going into the activity. You may notice during the respite activity, there's a sensitivity to loud noises or crowds. This is a characteristic many times of individuals with autism. You may notice that kids may not want to transition to a new activity. This also goes along with many characteristics that we see. We use a visual schedule that helps many times to get kids to the next place. An easy idea that we use that you may want to keep in mind today is you may want to hand the child something to hold to get them to the next activity. So if you're going outside to the playground, you may hand a ball to a child and let him walk with the ball. If it's time to head to snack, you may go ahead and hand him his bag of goldfish, and that helps him transition to a new activity. We use that strategy a lot to help kids get from one place to another and bypass some of that stress. Social skills are a work in progress. You're going to notice this today when you interact with the kids. Social skills are a deficit area for individuals with autism, and so they may talk a lot to you, but you may notice that it's not typical conversational skills. They may not give you much of an opportunity to talk back and forth. They may not give you an opportunity to ask questions or answer questions. So just know this is part of the characteristics, but you can help by asking those questions and relating it to what's going on around them. You can help those social skills by encouraging an individual to talk to another child that's present and work on those social skills of asking them, well, what do you think? Well, what do you like? Well, what's your favorite movie? And so those are some of those prompts that you can be giving to kids that really will help those social skills develop more. Many times they don't stop to ask another friend what their name is. And so we consider it a successful activity, even if a child can leave with his parents and say, you know what, I met a friend today. His name is Carson. And they're able to put a name with a friend. And so you can be a part of that and help them with those friendship skills. And you're going to notice today that communication skills vary. And like we've pointed out, we know many children with autism may be very verbal, but it may not always be used in the right way and used in a practical way. And so you can help, again, by coming alongside of these kids and encouraging them to ask for what they need, ask for something in an activity, ask questions, have those conversational skills back and forth with the kids in their group. Those are some things you can help encourage just by being a part of a group today. Okay, as we move on, you're going to notice that behaviors equal communication. So as you participate in the respite activity, you're going to realize and see that some kids are going to be having difficulties. And you may see a child that lays on the floor and he may not want to get back up. You may see a child who screams out, who yells out. And what we like to say is you are a problem solver. And the director, the program coordinator, the other staff, you are all problem solvers because typically when you see a behavior happening, that is an effort for that child to communicate something to us. So we want to look around, and these are what these pictures are for on this slide, that we want to quickly look around and see what's going on to see if that helps us solve what the problem is. Sometimes it can be that the child may be hungry. If this is a child that's attending and he's nonverbal and he's getting upset and agitated, we may notice and figure out that he is communicating that he's hungry, he's ready to eat. Um, it may be that a child is tired, and sometimes when respite activities happen at night, kids are just tired, and that may be what the behaviors are communicating. I have a picture of a T-shirt, and this relates to the sensory sensitivity that a lot of our kids have. And it may just be that something that they have on and that they are wearing is uncomfortable to them. And there may be a tag in their shirt or something on their clothes that we notice it's as simple as that is what is bothering them. Parents do this all the time, and they may already know that is something that bothers kids. You may notice they take off their shoes or they take off their socks. You know what we like to say? We're okay with that. If a child is doing something that's not dangerous to himself or dangerous to the other kids or adults, then we usually choose our battles, and we feel like that is okay. If they enjoy sitting on the floor and flipping through a book, that may be calming to them, and we're okay with that. If they enjoy cutting paper and as part of a craft activity, but you notice that is something that's calming and they enjoy. So we have a lot of flexibilities with different behaviors we may see. But sometimes you do see behaviors that do involve safety. And so you will have the program coordinator and director's support. But what we'd like to tell you today is safety first. What we want you to be aware of is to keep doors closed, just because we do have kids that can tend to wander away from a group quietly, or we have kids that dart off quickly and are very fast, and they actually run away from the group, and they may try to run out of a door into the parking lot. And so just be aware when you're rotating around with groups that you get a head count and that you keep those exit doors closed. It's just a good safety precaution that we like to do when we have an activity. If a child does run away and run out into a parking lot, this is when you do want to call out another volunteer's name, another adult, to help you. And like we said before, so that you're not alone in the parking lot with a child, you quickly get another adult's help, and then you can better take care of the situation with 2 or 3 adults with that. Self-injurious behaviors. These are behaviors where a child may be in a behavior that is dangerous to himself, such as hitting himself or biting his hand or hitting his head on the floor. And that's when we quickly want to notify the program coordinator or teacher of the group you're in. If we have a beanbag or a soft pillow or blanket nearby, we may want to slide that under the child if they happen to be hitting their head. And then we want to contact the parent quickly. And that's something that the program coordinator would do for you. But you just be aware and so that you let another support staff know what's going on. We would in those situations contact the parents quickly to see how we could calm that child down. And then aggression. There may be certain instances where you may notice a child pushing or kicking or screaming out. And that is when we would, again, safety first, we would like to remove the rest of the kids from the room so that child is allowed to stay in that classroom by himself with an adult and 2 adults, preferably, standing in the doorway. But that quickly gets removes the rest of the group so that their safety is in mind, but it also helps us better handle and calm down the child who may be acting out aggressively. And again, these are, I don't want to scare you right now and make you feel the pressure of you having to handle these situations. I'm just giving you a quick picture of what you might see and how you can help the situation by notifying the program coordinator and then staying with the rest of the group. So we do have these things come up. And again, what we like to look at as, what is this child trying to communicate to us? When we have behaviors like that, we like to try to quickly intervene and see how we can handle the situation. Before we move to this last slide, I'd like to mention another behavior you may encounter with some of our high-functioning individuals or those with Asperger's syndrome. At times, it may just be one child. It varies, so this is not something that you see in every child, but you may hear inappropriate language within an activity. What we like to tell volunteers and staff is a quick way to respond to this is by ignoring this behavior first. Sometimes when we give attention to it, it may make the child want to do it more. They like that attention. They like that they got our attention so quickly. So we like to ignore it. The next thing we do is redirect. We just quickly change the subject, distract them. You may just quickly ask them a question, an unrelated question. What is your favorite movie? Or are you going to go see the new Star Wars movie? That typically will get you back on a topic and away from inappropriate language. And if it gets out of hand, then the program coordinator would then intervene and we would remove the rest of the kids so that they could continue on in their group and we could give some support for this individual who may not be able to stop that inappropriate language. But many times distracting them, ignoring them, that will do it, and you can move on in your activity and you won't see that behavior creep back up. Every now and then it may be a behavior that happens when stress is involved, when a child is nervous. And we do see that sometimes. But I like to point that out to groups because sometimes it will come up and it's nice to know and remember how to react in those situations. Lastly, I just want to remind you, parent communication as a volunteer is and to any of our staff, it's really important to us. It could be the most important thing that we get to do because when the parent drops off their child and when they pick up their child, they see our body language, they see the expression on our face, and then they hear the words that come out of our mouth. And we stress so highly the importance of being positive. Remember, this is a fun night. This is a fun day for the kids. This is a break for the parents. When they come back to pick up their child, we want to have smiles on our faces. We want to tell the parent what we got to do today, the activities that the child enjoyed. Don't take for granted that the parent already knows that their child enjoys music. What they do for us may not be what they do at home. And so the parent will love to hear every detail of the day. And so let's remember to tell the parents the games that we played, the activities that we did, new friends that their child talked to and met. Parents are just going to treasure this kind of information because this is not usual in their life. And we really want them to walk away with such great memories and a positive experience from this respite activity. We want to focus on their strengths. So any child we know in a 3 or 4 hour period of a respite activity may have sometimes where they had a difficulty. They may have had some behaviors. We may have had to redirect them a lot. But I think we all can think of one or two positive things that happened during that time that we want to focus on with the parent. The parent doesn't need to know the negative things that happened. Truthfully, they already know those struggles that are there. So let's focus on those two or three or four positive things that we experienced when the child smiled, something that they enjoyed. Let's really just make a big deal out of those things. And then lastly, we want to thank the parent. You know, I heard this shared by a parent of a child with special needs, and she said that it it's a special comment to make to thank a parent for the opportunity to serve their family today. And that really stuck with me. And I try to practice that now anytime that I'm working with children and we have respite activities. So when when you have contact with parents and conversation today, thank them. It's just a simple thank you for allowing us to serve your family. I'm thankful for this opportunity to meet your child, and I've learned so much today. Thank you for this opportunity, and that is a way we can bless these families and show them our appreciation. And so we appreciate your time today. We know this was a quick rundown of what to expect, but we hope it does get you excited. We hope you feel more prepared for what you may see. We hope you may remember a few of these quick strategies if you find yourself in these situations with the group today. Spectrum does offer any future training, so please contact us for further information. My name, Nan Britt, it's listed here with my email. Claire Dees is the president of Spectrum. Her contact information is listed here. And we thank you again for partnering with Spectrum or with your respite activity today to volunteer with these special families.